Know you're breathing the Spirit of God. And exhale and let yourself be one. begin to come back into the room. Let's take a deep breath. And as you exhale, begin to open your eyes and join us back in the sanctuary. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Let's come forward. We're going to sing Woke Up This Morning. We'd love you to sing along, please. Here we go. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. All day long, I keep my mind stayed on spirit. All day long, I keep my mind stayed on spirit. All day long, I keep my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah,
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning. I got my red and gold on. I know what to do. I know what to do now that I've lived here for over a year. Oh, welcome, welcome. It's so good to be here. So good to be here. So, welcome to CSL San Jose this morning. I am Reverend Cheryl McCrary, your senior minister, and I'm so glad to be here with y'all today. Fantastic. So this is a good turnout for Super Bowl Sunday. I like it. I like it. All right, so let me tell you what's in store today. So today our host is Reverend Marsha Benkala. She'll be up to take us through the service today. And we have incredible practitioners. Come on up. Les Lindup, I think, did the meditation. That was great this morning, yes? Wonderful. And then Debbie Balmasieri, come on up. She'll be doing the call to service. And Ron Wade will do the invocation. Come on up, Ron. And then Julia Smith is holding High Watch. There you go. And I'm going to go up this way. Thanks.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome you to the service today, and I invite you to close your eyes and allow the sound of the bowls to bring you to your center, to your core, where spirit dwells.
As the reverberation of the bowl brings us into this moment. God is. And that's the entire prayer. Everything else after that is a pointer to it. God is here in, as, and through me. Just as I am in, as, and through God. And it's all going on around me. It's going on in this service. It's going on through me. God is going on. And wherever two or more are gathered together in its name, it is especially present. And I know that it is especially present here today for this service, for me, for you, through the musicians, through the guest artist, through the sound booth and the video booth, through Reverend Rochelle's message. The thing itself is in all of it, just as all of those things are in the thing itself. The thing itself knowing, expressing itself and through each and every one of us through this service. I am grateful for that. I am grateful for this prayer. And from that place of gratitude, I release my word into the action of the law, which can only say yes. The service is blessed, and I anchor my prayer with, and so it is.
Good morning. So happy to be here. You've got a heavy heart, so I want you to know that you've been ducking. The hardest of blows feels like you're sinking to the lowest of lows. Though it's hard to believe, if we just let things go, all good things will come. Let it flow. Your spirit's aching from pain dark and deep, and you've lost track of the nights that you couldn't sleep. We're miles apart, but I can still hear you weep. Though it's hard to believe, if we just let things go, all good things will come. Just let it flow, let it flow from deep in your heart. There's a new start every day. Just believe and follow your heart straight, 'cause your heart knows the way. We're fighting battles, and there's some we can't win. Each hard ending brings a place to begin. Keep on believing, don't you ever give in. Though it's hard to believe, if we just let things go, all good things will come. Just let it flow. I see the light that won't be dimmed by your tears, and I'll stand by you through your darkest of fears. Get you moving, yeah, when you're grinding your gears. Though it's hard to believe, if we just let things go, all good things will come. Just let it flow, let it flow from deep in your heart. There's a new start every day. Just believe and follow your heart straight, 'cause your heart knows the way. Oh, keep on believing, yeah. Though it's hard to believe, if we just let things go, all good things will come. Just let it flow. All good things will come. Let it flow.
Oh, thank you. Don't you love that music is a spiritual practice? So first of all, thanks to our house band, Troy Arnett, who's been on piano, Billy Johnson on drums, Dwayne Pate, and Dave Bick Marchette on guitar. Backup singers Gretchen Vogel and Renee Tobias. Yay. And, whoa. Oh. You threw me off. It's my honor to welcome our guest artist, Carrie Hillary. And first of all, she told me I could introduce her as a former vampire or zombie, but I'm going to do her, she really did. But I'm going to give her due justice and read her bio. So Carrie, our guest artist today, is a familiar voice in spiritual, women's empowerment, and environmental activism communities. She has shared her conscious pop music and message in over 260 spiritual centers. And monthly, she hosts a circle called Gather the Women. Her Earth Day birthday seems a perfect precursor to deepen her connection and love for Mother Earth, and her original music reflects this respect and devotion for the interconnectedness of all living beings. And so I want to let you know that she's going to have a table after service. She has CDs, other ways to get music, and you can sign up for her e-news there. So welcome, Carrie. We're very glad to have you here. Okay, so welcome. I'm Marcia Bencala. I'm one of the ministers here, and this morning I'm your host. I was up here a couple of weeks ago, and there was red here and there, and now there's a plethora of red. I'm telling the online folks. I understand, well, there's Chinese New Year's, there's Valentine's Day, and oh yes, there's something else. The 49ers are playing in the Super Bowl today. Yay. Also, I want you to know that this week, in fact, tomorrow, is Abraham Lincoln's birthday. And he has said so many amazing things. He has a high consciousness. And one of the quotes I like is he says, "Be sure to put your feet in the right place, then stand firm." And you know what? That's what we do every Sunday when we say our statement of being. So if you're able, please stand, and we're going to repeat together something that reflects our philosophy and our way of life. We believe that God is all there is, and that love is the only power. We are a welcoming and inclusive community of inspired individuals caring for and about each other and entire planetary family, bringing the gifts of active compassion and kindness to the world. Our purpose is to transform lives, build dreams, and reveal God through education, music, prayer, service, generosity, and play. And so if you remain standing and greet somebody nearby, maybe somebody you don't know. And now, as everybody settles down, we have some announcements. Hello, Reverend Rochelle.
Hello, Reverend Marcia. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm so glad to be up here with you.
Yeah, me too.
So we're here to do the announcements, not just to make googly eyes at each other, right?
Well, darn.
So where do we start, Marcia?
Well, I first want to mention that we have 2 meetings happening after service today. First, right here in the sanctuary, we have a music ministry meeting with the house band, the choir, and the praise team, and it starts at 11:45. And also, there's an animal connections meeting. So if you have pets just love animals, you might be interested in this. It's meeting upstairs in the Emma Curtis Hopkins room at 12:15.
Fantastic. So just to underscore, if you're in the music ministry, choir, anything like that, meet with us after service for some quick updates.
Do you want me to do that one, or do you want to? Okay. Mandalas on Monday. If you remember, Reverend Maureen Ross mentioned that last week. It's all full, but for those of you that signed up, it's tomorrow, starting tomorrow, Mondays from 10 to 12. 11 to 1. You'll be early if you show up at 10.
Okay, I believe next is prayer and Pilates. Is that what's on the screen? Okay, Laura, would you like to come say something about prayer and Pilates?
Thank you and hello. Joseph Pilates was an amazing man who changed his own life with several concepts that match what we do. He used visualization, he used imagery, he used breath, so many of the things that we use, which is one of the reasons I practice. Plus, it just makes me feel good in my body. So any kind of level is welcome. We know that neuroplasticity is a thing. And if I just even in my mind's eye can activate my glute muscle, then I'm doing something.
Well, there you go. So prayer and Pilates meets on Tuesdays and Fridays at 8 o'clock in the morning, right here in Fellowship Hall, 8 to 9, Tuesdays and Fridays.
Okay. Jen Bueller. I saw her
Is
earlier.
Jen here?
Do you want to
Jen.
stand up? So Jen is offering next Saturday a money moves and real estate session called Buying a Home in Silicon Valley. So this is really, if you've thought that you never could buy a home here, go to this session. She's got information on loans, financial assistance, the process for buying a new house. You want to show up for that. And that'll be this Saturday, February 17th, from 10 to 12.
And I want to
At
say
my
that it's free, that there's no cost if you'd like to make a love offering. That's wonderful, but Jen has some very specific resources available if you want to buy a home in this area and think it's out of your reach. Jen can show you how that may likely not be true. This Saturday?
Yes, 10 to 12.
10 to 12.
Yeah.
Here. It's in person. Okay. So check your e-news because it'll be here and on Zoom, I think. Okay. All right, great. All right. What'd you say, Jim?
Downstairs.
Downstairs, yes, it will be downstairs. Yes, absolutely. Okay, sound bath with Erica Valentine. I saw Erica. Where is Erica? There's Erica. Stand up, Erica. So Erica Valentine, everyone, Erica will be back next Sunday doing the meditation, the sound bath meditation. So if you liked it the first time, come back again for more good healing sounds and vibes. And Erica will then be doing ongoing monthly offerings, and we'll let you know when those dates are available. But she'll be back next Sunday.
So now the congregant fair. So if you remember last week, Reverend Maureen introduced that this month we are celebrating the congregant care team. There's 6 ministries, and you're going to hear about 2 of them today, Debbie Belmesseri and the Animal Connections, and Laura Graham Marquardt about the ministry of prayer.
Good morning again. I've been facilitating the Animal Connections team for about 10 years now, and we are a passionate and devoted group of animal lovers. And we do several events every year. 2 of the events that we do for our community here, one is the Animal Blessing, and that's where you bring in your animals, your dogs, your cats, your alligators, whatever you have, and we have a special blessing out there for each individual pet. And then we also have a pet remembrance gathering, which is very dear to me. What we do is we create a sacred circle right here in the sanctuary, and we give people a safe space to express their grief and their memories of the animals that they've had that they've lost. And that's a very special, very sacred event that we hold. And for our larger community, we have an animal outreach project every year. And that's when we collect towels and blankets, toys, and food, and we deliver that to all the local shelters. And that helps ease the lives of the animals that are waiting for adoption for their forever homes. And we do other fun stuff.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you provide house sitting or animal care?
No.
Okay.
But I do know a couple people that sometimes do that.
Okay.
And also, if anybody has a need, that we provide prayer for them if they have an animal that's sick or is about to transition. And we also do a lot of other just fun social activities during the year. So we meet on the second Sunday, and if you want to join us, please do. Thank you.
So I'm back. Hello. So there's lots of ways to receive and give prayer around here. But what I'm talking about today specifically is the Ministry of Prayer, part of the Compassionate Care Team. And the primary way to reach that is through the website or through an email. And it's Pray For Me. It's up on the screen. It can be accessed through the website. And there's also a submission form on there through, I'm going to tell you. I don't want to confuse things, but if you go on the website and then go to the pull-down menu at the top left-hand side, you go to Community and then Prayer at the center, and you can access that. And within 24 hours, someone will respond directly to you, and it's very powerful. I hope you take advantage.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So why would somebody need Ministry of Prayer? Like, what would be going on that someone should call into Ministry of Prayer or email in?
So anything that you're feeling called that you need prayer for, whether it be gratitude for something wonderful that's happening in your life, or if you are feeling heavy on your heart about something and struggling and feeling like that you just need a little bit of a boost on your end, let us know, please. Does that answer it?
Great, yes. And if you are going through anything where you need prayer, illness, divorce, loss of some kind, depression, whatever may be going on in your life, Ministry of Prayer is here to support you. And you just reach out by, I think the easy email is pray4me, P-R-A-Y for me, at cslsj.org. And you will have immediate prayer from lots of practitioners and ministers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to invite you to sing along on this one. It's really easy. Rise up, yeah, rise up. Still, we rise. Rise up, yeah, rise up. Still, we rise. That will be your part. We're brave and clear, strong enough to take a stand, overcoming diversity around the world, across the land. Oh, rise up, yeah, rise up. Still, we rise. Rise up, We're bouncing back, we're on a roll, transcending those challenges. We are strong, we're in control. Everybody rise up, rise up, yeah, rise up. Still, we rise. Don't be shy, sing it. Rise up, yeah, rise up. Still, we rise. Yeah, Dave. Right here, right now, hear a universal call. We will lift each other up every time one of us falls. Yeah, rise up. Yeah, rise up. Still, we rise. Yeah, rise up. Yeah, rise up. Still, we rise. Hey, David. Everybody, rise up. Yeah, rise up. Still, we rise. Rise up. Yeah, rise up. Still, we rise. Oh, rise up. Yeah, rise up. Still, we rise. Rise up. Yeah, rise up. Still, we rise. Still, we rise. Still, we rise.
Thank you so much, Carrie Hillary and the band. So I just have to say, Carrie Hillary is a longtime friend from a long time ago in Santa Cruz, who was actually a friend of my mom's. And did you write that song for my mom? I did. Yes, and she wrote this song for my mom. My mom used to have a Wednesday night service at CSL Santa Cruz.
Actually, I wrote it when she was in Arizona.
Oh,
and I
okay.
rewrote it to match her message this
Oh,
morning.
wonderful. Thank you. I love you. So good to see you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. So rise up, still we rise. Such powerful words, so beautifully sung this morning. So the theme this month, as you know, is resilience, and talking about what it means and how do we live it, how do we experience it, how do we become more resilient. So just as a reminder, the word resilience derives from the Latin verb resiliare, meaning to jump back or to recoil. Resilio means to rebound. And the base of resiliare is salire, a verb meaning to leap, which is a perfect word for our theme for the year, which is Dare to Leap. And so we talked about last week what a resilience is, and we defined it as the ability to adapt, to tackle obstacles, to bounce back, to recover from adversity, challenges, or difficult situations. And it involves mental and emotional and physical well-being in the face of stress, in the face of setbacks, in the face of trauma, in the face of threatening circumstances. And so resilience is not about avoiding difficulties. It's not about avoiding difficulties, but rather it's about facing them head on, learning from them, and growing stronger as we overcome them. So that is what resilience is all about. And you may recall last week I shared an incredible video from Britain's Got Talent that looked at resilience through the lens of physical challenges, right? Physical limitations. And we watched this incredible dancer who is an amputee, who's part of a ballet company, and this incredible movement that he was able to still dance with joy and life just coursing through his body, even though it appeared that he had a physical limitation. And so it was very, very powerful and transformative. So today I want to share with you personally a story of resilience through the prism of a family, an American family, my family. It's Black History Month, and I thought I would share a little bit of my background with you. Is that okay? Yes. Okay, good. So Jenna, okay, great. So I'll tell you when I'm ready, Jen. So today's talk title is Making a Way Out of No Way, right? Making a Way Out of No Way. And that is born from an African-American folk saying, and what it means is God can make a way out of no way. It means that when your back is against the wall, when everything is stacked against you, the law of the land, all things are stacked against you, oppression and restriction are enforced in how you live and how you be and how you have a family, that there is a way out, that there is a way that will be made. And so making a way out of no way means when you can't see your way forward, you trust in something greater than yourself to open the way forward, to make the way forward. Right? You trust in something that you can work with, that works within you and works around you to make a way forward, to make a path. And so it really speaks to a sense of agency, right? Meaning a sense of power, a sense of the ability to know I can't control the circumstances out here, but I can control how I respond to those circumstances. I can be choiceful in how I act versus reacting. And so that's what making a way out of no way means. And this is a term I heard a lot and still use and hear. It's really about making the impossible possible, right? Making the impossible possible. So I want to share with you a story of my grandparents. And I don't know, Jenna has a slide, so I don't know if it's up. Okay, there we go. So those are my grandparents, my maternal grandparents, who I knew better. I knew all of my grandparents, but I spent more time when my parents divorced. I spent more time with my maternal grandparents. And so that is my grandmother, Augusta Jones Frazier, and my grandfather, Orrin Franklin Frazier, and two of their children. One is my mom, and one is her sister, and then their third daughter was not born yet when that picture was taken, probably in the 50s. And so my grandparents grew up in a little town called, well, they didn't grow up there. My grandmother, Augusta Jones Frazier, was from Selma, Alabama, which you may have heard of from the Civil Rights Movement. Her mother and father went to a little church called Brown Chapel, which you may have heard of. It was very instrumental in the Civil Rights Movement. Senator John Lewis was recently buried in that chapel. That was my great-grandparents' church. My grandmother was very beautiful and very smart. She had a master's degree in English and a master's degree in library science. She was a librarian. And my grandfather, Orrin Franklin Frazier, was born in Montgomery, Alabama, which you know from the Montgomery bus boycott. And he was from a family that had done really, really well out of slavery and Reconstruction. His family had done really well financially. and he went to Columbia University grad school to get a graduate degree in education. So within 2 generations, my family went from being enslaved to Ivy League. And so I want to talk about what I witnessed as a child that made that kind of resilience happen. So I will say that my parents divorced when I was young. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, in Shaker Heights, Ohio. And so I didn't grow up in the South. I didn't grow up in this. My mom did not want me to grow up in the South, and that was a big cause of the rift between my parents. And so I grew up in Ohio, but I went and spent summers in Alabama with my grandparents. And I was the kind of kid that I loved talking to. My mom used to say when I was a kid, if she ever lost me in a grocery store or something, she knew I was talking to an old person. Because she's like, you're like an old, you're like a senior citizen magnet, right? I was going to always be talking to someone and asking them questions. And so I was that kid. And when I would spend summers with my grandparents, I would ask them about their lives and about their journey, because I could tell that Alabama was different from Cleveland. And so I would always ask them what was their childhood like, what did they experience, to tell me stories about their lives. And so one of the things I learned is that my grandparents grew up in a world that was very different than the world I grew up in Ohio. They grew up in a world that was under American apartheid. They grew up in a world that had laws constructed that restricted their movement, their ability to be educated, that restricted their ability to get service in restaurants or stay in hotels, and really restricted their everyday life in many, many ways. And these things were enshrined by law. Their ability to vote. My grandfather, who had a graduate degree from an Ivy League, could not vote. And when he would go to vote, prior to the Civil Rights Act, when he would go to vote, he would be asked questions. It was called a poll tax. So he'd be asked questions such as, how many rocks are in this jar, right? How many grains of sand on the beach, right? So things like that, and if you couldn't answer the question, then you could not vote, right? So it was a world that was very, where injustice was very sanctioned by law, right? And we can't really imagine that now, having lives so restricted in that way. But that is what they lived through. So then how am I standing here, right? How am I standing here? And so what I know is my grandparents were incredibly resilient people for a few different things that they did. And so one thing is that there was a strong belief in God and an intimate relationship with the divine. And they would not have seen it that way, the way I'm framing it. But they both, my grandfather was a Baptist and my grandmother was Methodist. And they both, my grandmother didn't like Baptist church because she's like, they're too loud, they make too much noise. It's like, you don't have to shout for God to hear you, like it's, And so in my grandparents' household, my mother and her sisters didn't have a choice about church, right? You go to church, you can go with your father, you can go Baptist or Methodist, but you're going to church on a Sunday. So religion, and also I will go beyond religion and say spirituality is what they really lived and practiced. My grandparents had a very palpable sense of spirit, of God, and a very palpable sense and belief and rock solid faith that God would make a way no matter what. No matter what the world said, no matter what the laws were, no matter what, they were very, very clear and certain about their ability to raise their family, their ability to send their daughters to college, their ability to make a better life for their children. And they went even further than that. And my grandfather, when he finished grad school, had offers to stay up north, be in New York and do things there. And he went back to Alabama in this little town where my parents are from and my grandparents lived, is a little town called Evergreen, Alabama. Ron, do you know where that is? No? I think Wallace knows where that is. Wallace's family is from near there. So a little town called Evergreen, Alabama, which is about 70 miles south of Montgomery. And they decided they would commit their lives to educating, to education and educating other blacks who couldn't go. Schools were segregated, and they committed their lives to education, education, education. For them, that was the key. That was the lever for people to move out of poverty and for people to move ahead in life. That became their passion. That became their purpose. My grandfather was like a superintendent of the black school system. And for 40 years, he and my grandmother taught. My grandmother taught English and library science. My grandfather taught math and was the principal and superintendent of the schools, and they had lots of other teachers. And at that time, because of segregation, many of the teachers had master's degrees. They couldn't teach anywhere else. So you had a highly educated teaching population teaching within these communities. And that was their passion and their purpose. And so in addition to their belief in God and their faith, this idea, and we talked about this last week, this idea of purpose, right? What am I on the planet to do? What am I on fire about? How can I make this world a better place? Right? That is the thing that drives and drives and drives. And when your back is against the wall, or it looks like in your life that there is no hope or there is no possibility, sometimes when we can get aligned with our purpose that is greater than ourselves, right? Maybe it's our purpose to make a better life for our children, or maybe it's a purpose to make a better life for our grandchildren, or maybe it's a purpose to help, to be a beneficial presence in the world in some way, right? When we're alive with that purpose, then we become very resilient because nothing is going to stop us. And my grandparents, nothing was going to stop them. Not the Ku Klux Klan, not the laws of the land, not the police, not terrorism. Nothing was going to stop them in their mission to make sure they could bring these kids and young people off of these farms, out from the woods, and make sure that they got an education, at least a high school education. Nothing was going to stop them. And so that kind of power and resilience makes everything else sort of fade away because you're on fire about your thing. And so here's the thing, my grandparents' story is an American story, right? Because all of us have somewhere, we trace it back, some people who've come through very hard times, whether it's famine, whether it's the Holocaust, whether it's whatever it is. We have people who have come through very hard times, who've had their backs against the wall, right? Who faced adversity, who by law or by custom were denied their rights, right? All of us have walked through that. All of us have that in our lineage. And so the question becomes, what do we do, right? How do we make a way out of no way? How do we allow God to make a way out of no way? And so what's interesting is my grandparents really were using new thought in many ways, right? So they understood that there was a power greater than they were, right? That was all powerful and that trumped everything that could possibly happen. My grandmother would say, God has the final word on that. No matter what the law is, no matter what's going on, no matter what is in front of me, no matter the diagnosis, whatever, God has the final word, right? Man does not have the final word. And so that was something she would say frequently. And it's really interesting because my grandmother broke her ankle when at some point in her life, I can't remember when, but she had a couple of children. She broke her ankle, and the doctor said that she would not be able to walk without a limp or a cane. And she was like, no way, because she's like, no way, I'm not going to, be my gorgeous, glamorous self and walk with a limp. And so she determined that she was not going to walk with a limp. She'd be able to walk just fine. And they had inserted a pin into her ankle, and a metal pin that she had in her ankle for the rest of her life. And she determined that that's what she was going to do, that she was going to be able to walk. And she found this book called The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. She was a voracious reader, so she loved Emerson. She loved all what she called the absolutists. Even though she wouldn't consider herself a metaphysician, but she read those writings. And she read Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking, and she determined that she was going to walk without a limp and not have pain, and that was her experience for the rest of her life. So it's so interesting. Our first introduction to New Thought came through my grandmother in Evergreen, Alabama, who read this book by Norman Vincent Peale, who had been inspired and influenced by Ernest Holmes, right? it's an American story. It's an American story, right? Norman Vincent Peale was also the spiritual mentor to Donald Trump. It's an American story, right? The lines and the threads of new thought and this teaching reach in places and ways we cannot even imagine, that we cannot even imagine. So what's also very interesting is, as a child, when we found new thought, when we found religious science, my grandfather thought it was a cult. And he would say, because my parents were divorced, which was very radical, and he always called my mom radical. And so I remember conversations with my grandfather where he'd be asking me questions about this church, and then he would be telling my grandmother, he'd be telling my grandmother, he would call my grandmother, her nickname was Gusta, short for Augusta, and he'd say, Gusta, Sherry has this baby in a cult. Sherry has this baby in a cult. We have got to go to Cleveland and see what's going on. So he was very, very concerned about religious science. And he had to come and sort of check out and make sure everything was okay. But what he didn't realize and didn't know is that actually they were living it, right? Because they understood there was a power greater than them that could use them to make the world better. And there's a power greater than they were that they could use to have a better life. Right? They were already using this stuff and putting it into principle. My grandmother was already the type of person who prayed in a way that she got what we call demonstrations. I have seen her pray for things and seemingly miraculous things happen because of the strength of her faith, right? So she already knew how to be aligned with the one and speak the word and then have a demonstration occur. So it was these incredible things that sort of laid the foundation, created the fertile soil for when my mom stumbled upon religious science. It was like, yes, like it just made sense because she already knew these things, right? She had already had these things. And so what I'm offering today is these sort of steps to think about, how can I be resilient in the face of the insurmountable? And if you look back in your own history, your own lineage, you will find, whether it's an immigrant story or whatever it is, you will find that your people have faced the insurmountable and they came through, right? And so here's what I see as sort of the things that help us be resilient. So one is, as I said before, this intimate relationship with God. And when I say intimate, I mean intimate. The ability to know that there's something responding to you, that even the smallest thing you ask, that it responds, that it reveals itself. And you build intimate relationship with Spirit the same way you build any other intimate relationship, through time and repetition and showing up in your meditation, in your prayer work, in your classes, in your visioning. Right? In order to build a relationship, you have to be in relationship. You have to show up. And so having that relationship that is immediate, right? Immediate, where even if you ask, where, God, show me where did I put this thing I lost, right? Where did I put, my grandmother would just ask God to show her, like, where did I put the blah, 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 right? Whatever the thing was. Like, it was so immediate for her, that relationship was so intimate that any little thing, that was her reference point. Right? And so that kind of intimate relationship with God then leads you to the second thing, which is this rock solid faith that cannot be shaken. That no matter what you're staring at, whether it is a diagnosis, whether it is a law, whether it is injustice, whether it is a failed relationship, whether it is whatever it is, right? This ability to know that power that is intimately known to you and knows you intimately, that it will show up, that it will make a way out of no way. It will open a door, it will open a window, it will bring opportunity right to your doorstep, right? It will orchestrate events to operate on your behalf. So that is the second thing, that faith that is unshakable, that the all that is all there is, and it is showing up right now, right here, as whatever the thing is. Right? That ability to have that faith. The other one is this sense of agency. What I learned a lot from my grandparents was that no matter what the world said, they were very powerful within themselves and choiceful, right? Meaning, no matter what was happening out here, they made a choice of how they were going to deal with it and respond to it. The world did not decide for them. And so this sense of agency, this sense of power, the sense of ability to speak your word, to claim what's true, to walk your path, to make your choices, right? Viktor Frankl says, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms. I'm sorry, let me start over. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves, right? We are challenged to change ourselves. Out of college, I worked as a professional actor, and anyone who has ever worked as a professional actor, particularly in theater, knows you have to have another job. You have to do other things. And so I started doing arts education, eventually started a nonprofit to do arts education where I worked with under-resourced young people, teenagers, and I used theater as a tool to teach them leadership skills. And one of the first things I would say to them is, you cannot, because many of them were in circumstances that were traumatic, to say the least, right? Where maybe there was not a responsible parent in the home. There may have been abuse going on in the home. There were lots of things that were going on with these kids. And one of the first things I would say to them is, you cannot control what happens out there, right? You can't control what is happening around you, but you can control how you're going to respond to it, right? You can control what you do next or what you do as a result of it. And some of it it's not fair. Some of the things that those kids were facing was not fair. It was not right. And it doesn't excuse what was happening. But in that situation, the only choice they had was how they were going to respond. Is this the thing that breaks me? Is this the things that now I do some other things that make my life even more difficult? Or is there another choice that I can make? And so I use theater to work with them, to help them come to that sense of agency, come to that sense of personal leadership, right? And be able to navigate through the lives that they were in. And so that is another quality that's necessary for resilience. I think the last thing I will say as a quality of resilience as it related to my grandparents is love. They loved each other, and they loved their family, and they loved God, and they loved their community. And that love could not be broken no matter what. And it fueled them. It's what kept them going. You know, they love their students. They love the kids that they work with. They work with generations of families. And there was a deep love and commitment that my grandparents had to their people. And I wasn't there to see it, but I felt the effects of it. When I would go to visit them in summers in the 70s and 80s, well past the civil rights movement, the level of respect my grandparents had from the community around them, the love people had, the way people treated me. Oh, that's Mr. Frazier's granddaughter. Oh, that's Mrs. Frazier's just the way people would react to me. It was like, wow, the seeds my grandparents had planted in that community, they bore fruit for me and how I was received and how I was treated, that shaped my self-esteem and my self-worth in the world. So this love, finding and sensing into the love you have for life and for the people around you and the people you serve is a necessary ingredient to keep you going in the face of adversity and to keep you moving forward in the face of adversity. And to keep saying yes to life, even when it appears that life is saying no to you, right? Love is the spark that keeps it all going because we're born of love. We're born of love. We're created out of love. And so I invite you now, just in this moment, to just sense into your own lineage. Because my story is a specific story, but it is also a universal story. Yes? And just sense into your own lineage, your own people, your own ancestors, and the journey that they walked, the paths they walked. And I recognize in this moment that we're standing on the shoulders of our beloveds who came before us. And no matter what their journey, no matter what they went through, no matter what their experience, we are distilled from the strongest, most resilient people. And so we have that strength and resilience within ourselves. And just feel into that in this moment, into your family, into your ancestry. And just feeling in that line, that thread of the divine that runs through generation after generation after generation after generation after generation after generation. And that will move forward from you to the next generation, next generation, next generation. And so in this moment, what I offer is that we become the focal point, the place where resilience re-ups, the place where we offer resilience to those who come after us. And so in this moment, as we move into prayer, I speak into this room the absolute knowing of the divine presence, that power, that presence, that life that is all that there is. It is eternal, cannot be extinguished, has no beginning. It is, and it is expressing everywhere, all powerful, all knowing, all being, all intelligent, all love. This presence created each of us out of itself. This presence created each of us out of itself, each of us the most beloved of the Most High. That is the truth of our beingness. And so this morning I speak a word of absolute blessing in this moment. Knowing and declaring divine resilience, moving through this room, moving through individuals, knowing and declaring divine resilience, moving through the lineage of each one, chains broken, limitations dissolved into nothingness. I declare and know in this moment that each of us is free from anything that would hold us back, free to love, free to be, free to prosper, free to be healthy and vital and alive, free. I speak a word of blessing on our ancestors this day as we love them, as we love them, as we love them. I speak a word of blessing on our descendants this day as we love them, as we love them, as we love them. And knowing in this moment that all is indeed well, that all is indeed well, that life is, and it cannot be altered, cannot be stopped, cannot be shaken in any way. And so I just declare and know that we are blessed this day and every day. And I know that all is indeed well. And with a grateful heart, I release this word. I let it be. I let it go. It is complete. We say together, and so it is. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning. And so in that place and space of resilience, we come into practice together. That practice of the offerings set forth. And what has become apparent to me is the resilience in and through this community. Whew. The resilience to move through this COVID-19 experience, through leadership changes, through all the adversity that has been presented to us. and now we are here. And so I invite us into this practice together as we hold whatever it is that is the demonstration of our offering to our hearts. And to speak with me this giving affirmation. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world, and it returns to me multiplied abundantly. Ushers, you can begin.
All right, we're going to give thanks. Thank you for this wonderful, beautiful, healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Beautiful, beautiful day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends. For my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Beautiful, joyful day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This joyful, this joyful, this joyful day. This joyful, this joyful, this joyful day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, as we're about to close our service, I'm wondering if there's anybody here for the first time. We'd just like to welcome you. Raise your hand. Yeah. Thank you, welcome, welcome. We're so glad that you're here. And I just want to let you know that after service, if you go into our fellowship hall, we have all kinds of yummy baked goods. There's a bookstore. There's people that can answer any questions that you might have. And we hope to see you back next week. So now, as the practitioners come forward and our children come forward, if they're ready, we will see. We'll just keep going. We'll just keep going. And so as the practitioners come forward, you'll know them by their purple stoles. Oh, here are their children, so I'm going to talk a little bit longer. If there's anything that you need prayer for, we have a prayer chapel in the back, whether it's something that's heavy on your heart or something that you're grateful for. A practitioner is there and welcomes you to come and have a 5-minute prayer together. And so here we have the children coming forward. And Jennifer, there's some in the back, some in the front. And Jen, you want to tell us who's...
Thank you. Good morning. I apologize for our lateness. This morning we had Anna Marie Gonzalez with the littles and Bill Tiemann with the middles, and we had Nick Watchin and Mitzi Smith again with our teens. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jen. All right, so now if you are able to stand, we'll have our closing benediction together. So will you repeat after me? I am at home in the heart of God.
I am at home in the heart of God.
I live in the consciousness of peace.
I live in the consciousness of peace.
I am a co-creator with life.
I am a co-creator with life.
And I make a way out of no way. I am resilient. And I live love in all that I say, think, and do. And so it is. Have a good week, everybody.
I